Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in to what's going to be a review of the new ELF Aqua Beauty Ultra Pigment Cushion Eyeshadow Palettes. You might feel like you've already seen this here before on the channel. It's actually going to be kind of a take-two review or a re-review, just for revisiting the same product. I talked about and used these in a recent full face wear test look where I didn't have a great experience. I didn't apply them over a primer, I didn't set them with a powder, and as a result I did not have great results. They creased like crazy, or they didn't crease, they faded. They just generally needed a little bit more TLC than I gave them in that tutorial. So I said I wanted to try them out using a primer with some powder. You get the picture. That's what this is going to be about. So let's go ahead and dive in and first start off with a recap in case you're unfamiliar with these products or you just want a little refresher. So these palettes are part of the Aqua Beauty line. You get 6 shades in a palette and they retail for 12 bucks a piece, which is getting up there for ELF. They have a new formula. It's just like the ColourPop Super Shock shadows if you're not familiar with that. It's basically like a powder gel hybrid where you put your finger in the center of it and it's true to the name, like a cushion. Like it leaves an imprint of the shape of your finger in the shadow pan. So you can see it's definitely not a powder, but certainly not a cream or a gel. Somewhere in between. Now with the ColourPop shadows, I don't need a primer under those. I can wear them alone across the lid. They also work great as crease shades for me. They blend and buff out really nicely, but also the pigment can be built up. I didn't find that was the case at all. So just to give you some background for why I first tried these without a primer, because some people who consistently use primer no matter what are probably thinking I'm crazy, but I just wanted to give it a fair formula test since these are super close, even though the ingredients don't match. I did try and cross-check them and didn't find hardly any similarities in the ingredient deck. So still, despite the results, wanted to give it a try, not only for those who might like to wear their shadows differently, and as a result these might work better for them when worn that way, but also because some of these palettes contain some interesting shades. Namely, there are only 2, by the way. There is the Island Breeze, which I am wearing on my eyes today, has this gorgeous berry burgundy, an antique gold, some solid neutrals and pinks, but this also high shine like pewtery silver up here. And then there is the Cool Mist, which has super deep blues, chocolatey browns, steely gray blues, and then this really fun duochrome up here. It's kind of like a blue-brown pigment, but then has these icy baby blue glitters in there too. So really unique colors, and so at the very least I just wanted to see if we could make these work so that you could add some new cool shades to your eyeshadow collection. Fast forward to here and now where I've tried them every which way, including wearing only these over an eyeshadow base, wearing these over an eyeshadow base plus set with powder, and wearing these over an eyeshadow base and over eyeshadow as well, kind of like a shadow topper as like, you know, a very bright shadow or a very bold shadow in the center of the lid or just across the lid applied with my fingers so you can really maximize the pigment. And I have to say, I'm still not in love with them, especially for the price and how much product you get and the kind of color payoff you get. The thing about these is, yes, you can work with them and yes, you can build them up, but for the most part, a lot of these, and I found this especially with like the deeper browns in here, like the taupe shades here, and the browns in the Island Breeze collection, is that yes, you get these in this pan, but with the way you have to work with them, layering over the primer, over a shadow, or just for the amount of work you have to put in with them, you still don't get this kind of bold color payoff and pigmentation. And then there's also inconsistencies within each of the shades. For instance, I'm wearing this bold gold on my lid and it's maybe 6 hours worth of wear time in, applied over a primer, and it's faded like crazy. It's kind of only present here right at the lower lash line, and I haven't been out and about all that much. I've been in air conditioning all day, really have not put it to any sort of stress test, and it just didn't withstand the test of time. The best way I find to wear these is over a primer and then a powder shadow over on top of that, but at that point then you kind of miss the essence of the colors in these pans. They get transformed over the shadows that you've then put over top. So unless you're going in with like the Statement Antique Gold, which by the way isn't really an original shadow in my book, it's beautiful, but Makeup Geek makes a pigment and maybe even an eyeshadow that's very similar to this. It's like, just in general, these are not unique shades, and even the one that I personally do think is beautiful and unique because it's that blue-brown shift with the baby blue glitters. Once you apply that over a primer and another shadow, it transforms the shade, so you don't get exactly this sort of look on your eye. And so it's at that point, it's kind of like, well, why wouldn't I just try and recreate the look with other shadows I might have in my collection already? So long story short, nothing has really changed. These still aren't for me, and I wouldn't recommend them to you either. Instead, I would recommend you just going to check out ColourPop. They have a massive range of eyeshadows. If you dig the texture, they have one that works for you, works for a lot of people and it doesn't fade. It has the more durable formula. And then if it's the shade range you're after, I just don't think any of these are unique enough to warrant buying each of these individual shadows, especially then to struggle with applying them over and under and yada, this, that, and the other. You get where I'm coming from. So really hope this take-two review was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.